So we need to write down an inequality that this shaded region represents, and we can see that we have a dotted line or a dashed line. So obviously this dashed line means that we're either going to have the greater than symbol or the less than symbol, but we're not sure which one. So to tell which letter we're going to use, whether it's Y or X, we look where it crosses the axes, and it crosses the Y axis at 2. So we know it's something to do with the letter Y and something to do with the number 2. And just to tell which symbol we use, we have shaded above the line, we have shaded Y as 3, Y as 4, Y as 5 and Y as 6, which are all greater than 2. So Y must be greater than 2. And that's your answer for the first one. Now we look below, and we need to write down the inequality for this shaded region. Okay, and we've got a solid line, so we know we're either dealing with the greater than or equal to symbol or the less than or equal to symbol. Okay, so we're thinking about whether it includes values on that line. And we can see it crosses an axis. The important part is it crosses the x-axis at -2. So we've got something to do with x and -2 because it crosses x-axis at -2. And we have shaded x is -3, x is -4, x is -5, x is -6. All of these numbers are less than -2, so x must be less than or equal to -2. Moving on, below we need to write down the inequality represented with the shaded region down here. We have a dotted line or a dashed line, so we know it's either going to be the greater than symbol or the less than symbol, but we're not sure which one. So we need to think about what the equation of that line would have been if we were just plotting it on a normal graph. So we can see it goes through -3, -3, -1, -1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6. So whenever x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. If x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2. If x is equal to 3, y is equal to 3. So it would have had the equation y equals x. But we need to think about an inequality instead of the equal to. So we've got y something x. So either y is greater than x or less than x. And the way that we've spoken about doing this is picking a coordinate. So let's pick that coordinate. So it's 2, 0. Let's pick the coordinate 2, 0. Okay, remember this part's x, this part's y. And let's try out both symbols. So we've either got y is greater than x or y is less than x. So the y is 0, greater than x is 2, and y is 0 is less than 2. So which one of these is correct? Well, 0 is not greater than 2, so that is incorrect. Whereas 0 is less than 2, so that one must be correct. So our symbol is actually y is less than x instead. So that is your answer for that one. Moving on, we've now got some straight line graphs where they have a y-intercept that is not 0, and they have positive and negative gradients. So we need to find the equation of this line, okay, without kind of stating a region or anything to do with inequalities. So we would have had y is equal to something. And remember, the form of a straight line is y equals mx plus c. So we would have had something to do with y equals mx plus c. So we need to find the gradient. So we pick 2 points. I'm going to pick 2, 2 and 4, 6. So that coordinate is 2, 2, and that coordinate is 4, 6. So remember, the gradient is the change in the y. So change in the y is 4 over change in x is 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the straight line graph crosses the y-axis at -2, so it would have been y equals mx, so 2 x, then plus c, but our y-intercept is -2. We're either going to have, because this line is solid, the greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. Okay, so let's pick a coordinate in the region. So let's pick 0, 2. Let's try 0, 2. So the coordinate 0, 2, that's the x, that's the y. We either have y is greater than or equal to 2x minus 2, or y is less than or equal to 2x minus 2. So let's substitute those in. So the y value is 2, greater than or equal to 2 times 0 is 0, take 2, -2, or 2 is less than or equal to -2. 2 is greater than or equal to -2. 2 is not less than or equal to -2. So that bottom one is incorrect. So actually we have y is greater than or equal to 2x take away 2. 2x take away 2. Okay, moving on to the one just below. We have a dotted line, and we can see it crosses our y-axis at 1. So we need to find the equation of the straight line graph, ignoring any regions or inequalities. So we need to find the gradient. So I can see it goes through that point, which is -4, 3. And it goes through the point 0, 1. Okay, so we do the gradient, which is change in y. It's actually decreasing because it's gone from 3 to 1. So it's -2 over the change in x. So we've gone from -4 to 0, which is 4. And that simplifies to -1/2. So my equation would have been y equals mx, which is the gradient, so -1/2x, and then my y-intercept, which is +1. So that would have been the equation of the straight line, okay? And we need to think about which symbol. So because it's a dotted line or a dashed line, we've either got this symbol or this symbol, but we need to decide which one we're going to use. So let's pick a coordinate. Let's pick 0, 2. So notice when I pick a coordinate, I'm picking one with positive numbers if possible, just because then I don't have to worry about making mistakes. So that's the x, that's the y. So either y is greater than -1/2x plus 1, or y is less than -1/2x plus 1. So y is 2 greater than 0 plus 1, or 2 is less than 1. 2 is greater than 1. 2 is not less than 1, so that bottom one's wrong. So it must be this one is correct. Y is greater than -1/2x plus 1. And that is the correct answer. I'm running out of space a little bit, so that is the correct answer. And finally, we've got a region with 2 straight lines. Okay, so we're going to have a look at the solid line first. So we need to find the equation of that solid line. So let's pick 2 coordinates. There's one which is 1, -3, and this one which is 2, -6. So the gradient would be change in y. So it's gone from -3 to 6. So it's negative, it's going down from -3 to negative. So negative, gradient is -3 over, and then change in x is 1. So the gradient is just -3. So we've got -3x, and it crosses at 0. So it's just y equals -3x. And we need to think about whether we want to use the greater than or equal to symbol or the less than or equal to symbol. So let's pick a coordinate in the region 0, 3. So we've got 0, 3. So that's the x part, that's the y part. So y is greater than or equal to -3x, or y is less than or equal to -3x. So let's try both. Y is 3 is greater than or equal to 0, or 3 is less than or equal to 0. 3 is definitely greater than or equal to 0. 3 is definitely not less than or equal to 0. So we can ignore that bottom one. We know it's this top one here. But we haven't quite finished yet because we've got two lines. So we need to look at the equation for the dotted line as well. So we did have y equals, we need to find the gradient. So let's pick two coordinates. But we can see that this graph goes through 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So we looked at that earlier, and actually the equation is y equals x. So we need to pick a coordinate again, 0, 3. So we've either 0, 3. So we've either got y is greater than x or y is less than x, because it's a dotted line. This is the x part, this is the y part. So either 3 is greater than 0 or 3 is less than 0. So 3 is definitely greater than 0, 3 is not less than 0, so that bottom one is not true. So we have two inequalities that we can use. So we've got my final answer. We've got y is greater than x, and down here y is greater than or equal to negative 3x as well. Okay.